As a product manager, have you ever had to communicate to different stakeholders and find yourself trying to tailor that message to speak to them directly and having to do multiple versions of the same message? Well, with this application I just built, this allows you to take an input in your message and select the different audiences, which I'm going to show you right now. So let's say I want to send something to the executives, to our sales team. Heck, I could even send it to recruiters, right? If I wanted to, if I'm looking for a new job. And let's do our design team as well. And I'm just going to do a short message. So what I do now, I hit translate, and voila, we have a message that is specifically tailored to executives. It gives them business impact, things they care about. Also one for our sales and customer success teams, the stuff that they can share with customers directly. And then also if you wanted recruiters, you can have something in the STAR framework. And we also have the DIGS framework as well. So you can take those and kind of share however you want. So stick around and I'll show you how I built this in Lovable. Okay, so here we are in Lovable. In the previous video, I walked you guys through my planning process in ChatGPT, putting together the PRD. I was going to use in Lovable, as well as a technical implementation guide, and as well as building out the prompts that I'm actually going to use for this Stakeholder Translator application that we're going to be building in Lovable. So check out the previous video for that. But today we're jumping into Lovable and we're going to start building. So the first thing I'm going to do is I usually like to start off with a blank app. So let's go ahead and do that. I even have my handy little screenshot attachment that I usually like to throw in there so there's no confusion. And then once that's up and running, move this out of the way. The next thing I'm going to do is add in my docs to the knowledge section. All right, so let me find the PRD. Just copying that. Okay. So this is specifically a PRD that I wrote just for Lovable. I have a much more detailed, fully fleshed out one that I have elsewhere, but this is specifically one that's a shorter version just for Lovable. And then I'm also going to copy in the technical implementation guide here as well. Oops. Okay. So there we have it. I'm not going to have a back end for this, so obviously. Goes without saying. And we should be ready now to start building. So just to recap so far, started off with a blank app, added in my PRD, added in technical implementation guide, again, if you want to see how I created those, you can watch the previous video. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay. So it's not going to go into knowledge. So let's go ahead and start prompting. See how far we get today. I'm going to copy my first prompt in here. And no, I don't need to save information. I'm doing that right now. Okay, so here's the first prompt. You're an expert lovable builder. Create a new blank. Oh, I already did that step. But no database of backend information. This one has my color theme, which I had planned out. So let's go ahead and just run that. Burn another credit. Sure. All right. So prompt number 2, now that we have that done, gonna run this. And again, just to kind of recap why Lovable is doing this, in case you hadn't watched the previous video. What I'm trying to do here as a product manager is build an application. Often we need to communicate to different audiences, different stakeholders, whether it's people in sales and success, it's executive leadership team, maybe our engineering team, or our UX designers, sometimes also recruiters. And so I wanted to build an application where I could input a single message here, for example, and then have that be translated for different audiences. And so that way I'm not having to write 5 different emails, but I can, or messages or whatever it may be. Here, maybe an ask, maybe an update to celebrate, maybe just something to inform. And then we have the different lengths, etc. So this looks pretty good so far. It's actually pretty clean. I do like this color scheme and palette. All right. So now that that's done, let's grab the next prompt. So this one was just like our core input and output layout that we've done so far. And then I think next we're going to implement like just basic translation logic. We haven't connected an AI yet, but this will be just kind of mock so far. So I should write a message to test this out, but I wonder what happens if I did. We built a new feature for translating stakeholder communication, and it will go live at the end of Q4. I'm just curious as to what. Okay. So I just wanted to show what we don't. Again, I think this is the next step where it's going to be like mock but we don't have anything in there yet. So let's run this next one and see. I'll just copy this exactly so we run it after. All right, so Lovable is done with that step. Now let's see if we... All right, so again, just testing step by step. So we have the toast notifications. We saw the spinner to show that it was working. I could have selected multiple audiences actually. Let's do that and do that again. Okay. So far, so good. It's actually pretty cool, I think. And so actually the next step is, right now I'm clicking these. Those don't do anything. Or copy an email. And so let's throw that prompt in there. So I kind of know what I'm doing when I come into Lovable and not taking some of the guesswork out of it and just being very intentional with my prompts and like being able to test step by step. And so we'll just wait for this one to run and go from there. All right, so that looks like it's done now. Copy to clipboard. And then so if I go into a blank doc here, I just copy that. We see that works now. If I want to email, we don't have that yet, and Slack as well. Okay. Oh, it's placeholder toast for email, sorry. All right, so the copy's done. What's next? So this is to prepare the backend for real translation logic as the next step. To allow us to integrate AI integration later. So currently, Lovable is doing some refactoring there. Okay, so that piece is done. Next, we want to do some slight enhancements to the UX, add some subtle fading animation, improve some spacing, and just make sure that it's fully mobile responsive as well. So let's run that. All right, so we see what was done. Added fading animations. Okay, I'll take their word for it. We just built a stakeholder translator and will go live. Q4. All right, so the next, I want to expand to translation logic. Right now with the recruiters, we have the STAR framework, so situation, task, action, result. I want to also include the DIGS framework as well, where you're in essence kind of like dramatizing the situation. You're indicating what alternatives, you're indicating different alternatives, and then going through what you did, and then summarizing your impact. So let's go ahead and add that in there as well, and run that and see what we come up with. Okay, so we see here there's added a tooltip. I wonder if it would be helpful to have that for the different audiences. Let's go ahead and run that and see what we have now. Okay. It did get rid of the star, which is kind of not the intent. So we need to find a way for it to include both of those. Let me see how I want to do that. With this latest edit, you replaced the star framework with the DIGS framework. I would like to integrate this in a way where the user has the option for both or one or the other. It should by default provide both the star framework and the DIGS framework. Can you make that adjustment? When selecting recruiter as an audience. Okay, so it looks like it's done. Let's see how that runs now. I'm just gonna. Okay. Nice. Actually, it's Okay, that works. Let's do both. See what we get. All right, I can live with that. Okay, so next prompt. Let's do some debugging. And then I think what we'll do is come back another time to add in the AI component, because thankfully Lovable now has made that easier with Lovable AI. But in the interest of not having an extremely long video, we'll come back and do that another day. I'm happy with the way this turned out so far. All right. And then I'm going to do a reverse meta prompt here. Basically, asking, I'll do this in chat mode, asking to summarize what was built and just capture the state for onboarding later. All right, and so again, this will just basically, I literally will take this, copy it, and save it in Notion along with the rest of the docs for this application, just so that we have it, again, whether it's for planning for the next version or someone else comes along and needs to work on this, they have this as a reference guide. And I think that is it for today. We'll come back another day and go ahead and build out, add in the AI integration. So that should be fun and interesting, hopefully not too challenging, given especially the recent updates to Lovable with Lovable AI. I'll do that later. We're good for now. But yeah, I think we're good. Just copy all this. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.